Ryan, so what do we like? What are we betting on? We got over 6.5 wins, right?
Yeah, I got some tickets here if you want to.
How high do we want to go up the ladder? You're also on Will Levis, most passing yards. Right?
I got a ticket right here from the Circa.
Okay, I'll give you the 70-1 being offered online. What else?
Callahan, I got the coach of the year right here in front of me.
Okay, I'll call this 23-1 because that's what Circa is offering, and I don't know. Like, yeah, I do like them to make the playoffs at plus 330, but again, if the Titans make the playoffs, Bill Callahan's gonna have a damn good case for coach of the year. So I do think, Titans make playoffs plus 330. Kramer, I'm assuming you're co-signing that.
I mean, to your point, I think the better.
Or should we just let's just delete it.
Here's what I did. I went to I think it was after one of our show. My ritual when we were doing the morning VSiN show was just head down to the book after the show, file in all the picks from the show, and have a conversation with the ticket writer. And I got up there and I was planning on doing a bunch more stuff for the Titans, and I'm like, man, if any of this stuff hits the 23 to. Like, just put more on the coach of the year. Yeah,
even division at plus 950.
I ended up taking a small piece of the division just in case.
I think division makes sense. But you're right. Like
almost every other path has Callahan winning coach of the year, and 23-1. It feels so much like the the D'Amico Ryans price last year. I think I cashed that at 20-1. There's just so many parallels. I mean,
I just love the chat, Ryan. Just Lube Gaming, who's a huge Titans fan. It's just, you can tell he's just rock hard, and everyone else getting him fired up. He's got him going 12-5, which I don't know if I can quite get there. Do we go as high as Levis MVP? If Will Levis leads the league in passing yards at 70-1, I feel like there's a stigma against Will Levis, Ryan, unfortunately, and I think that does matter.
Well, they would have to talk about they'd probably
Mayo coffee.
Wasn't there a sex tape too? Like
there's a sex tape.
MVP award
He's
shows.
one of those guys who will get penetration.
That's serious business, Sean.
There's a beauty pageant aspect to the. I feel like Jalen Hurts' case was hurt because again, Hurts was a second round pick. I think that stigma hangs around in these voters' mind. I'll just be happy with cashing the passing yards at
150-1.
Yeah, I guess we should.
You know what? We'll put a little pizza bet night when we're out in Vegas. You don't want to miss out on that. Calvin Ridley, offensive player of the year. Nah.
No, because the scenario is just too much for me. Because I do like DeAndre Hopkins, and DeAndre Hopkins gets a bunch of the deep balls. And we just did our pros versus Joes best ball draft.
We're fresh off of a triple stack.
We did get DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley.
And
I think I lean I lean DeAndre Hopkins because you can get him a little cheaper. I think it's going to truly be a toss up because as much as I like Calvin Ridley as a prospect, you did see like, hey, him coming into a new offense, they couldn't quite figure it out. I still think he has a good year, but the fact that you can get Hopkins later and he already has that built-in chemistry with Levis, I have him slightly ahead, and you can get him later, not taking away anything from him. I think Chig still has a decent season.
So listen to this.
I'm always high on Chig.
D-Hop 40-1 most yards. Calvin Ridley 30-1 most yards. Yet Will Levis is 70-1 to have the most yards.
Yeah, I mean, well,
do the math.
In some ways, they should be higher because they're playing for the same quarterback, right? Like in some ways, their odds should be like 100-1 because.
Oh no, I view it as like a platform.
Oh, okay.
Almost like tiers.
Right.
Like to me, you shouldn't have multiple receivers from a quarterback that you have that far down the board. True. In that range. That would be my handicap. It would be kind of like if they had. Well, I'm sure Matt Stafford is probably mispriced, but Matt Stafford being all the way down the board. Yeah, see, Stafford's 14-1. That makes a lot more sense because he's got multiple guys priced up in that juicy range.
Oh,
so
okay, yeah. I was
kind of comparing it to another.
So if you're looking at it the other way, so Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua both probably have similar odds to.
So yeah, Puka Nacua is 14-1.
Yeah,
Cooper Kupp is a little further down the board, but he's 28-1. Matt Stafford matching kind of with Puka at 14-1.
Great point.
The Calvin Ridley and D-Hop being kind of in that second tier, which in this market, that's kind of like the second chunk the second tier. For them to be in the second tier and Will Levis basically to be off the board, it feels like someone fell asleep at the wheel, Sean. Feels like someone fell asleep at the wheel. So if that goes well, is it possible that they also are playing with a? So is the version of the Titans that they're coming from behind all the time, or they're just foot on the gas playing?
I think both work, right? If they are playing from behind, they're going to be throwing the ball, but it does seem like from what I'm reading about their offense, what they're expected to do, the fact that Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears aren't workhorse backs. They don't have a Derrick Henry that they're going to use to set up the run to use it to set up the pass. Like I think they're going to be throwing a bunch regardless of game script. I agree with ETR, their assessment that the Titans might lead the league in pass rate over exception. And if you think I'm crazy, if you think I just have a random hard on for Will Levis, just go look at the Jake Browning numbers. Go through the game logs. Go look at those situations. Look at who he had out there. Well, and again, tell me he can't do what Jake Browning did.
Like get your yarn out and your thumbtacks. How is Will Levis 10-1 to lead the league in interceptions?
Yes.
Like none of these odds add up to that 70-1 most passing yards.
No, to your point, Ryan, the interception market means you're going to be out there throwing a bunch.
Yeah.
So it should be. Yeah, like
should we look at his most touchdown market?
Okay, sure. Talk me into that. What
it's
is
only
it?
40-1.
Yeah, see, that's how like the yards.
Someone made a mistake.
The yards you can get like multiple ways. There's a version where they're not as good, and he's still getting the yards, right? But he has to be pretty good to get the touchdowns. Like the touchdowns should be priced farther than the yards.
He's fucking priced with JJ McCarthy. He's priced with JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, JJ McCarthy might not start week 1. In fact, he's not favored to start week 1, is he?
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, anything else?
Oh, I'm just looking at some of these game logs from our boy Jake Browning.
I mean, yeah, I think if you like, without even getting into the Browning, just go look at what Burrow did his first year in the system. His first year in the system, he threw for 4,600 yards. I think right.
Browning had 3 games above 300 yards. And some of the teams they're playing, like the Bengals played the Vikings at home. He threw for 324 yards against a lot of the guys he's going to be seeing in for the Vikings.
No, I mean, you can look at this multiple ways, right? Like backup quarterback.
And Jamar Chase, obviously very good, drawing a bunch of attention, but yeah, 4 for 64.
I mean, all right, let's
and look at I mean, fucking Tanner Hudson 5 for 49. Like,
be real about it though. The Jamar Chase is great. T Higgins is very good, but Calvin Ridley pretty fucking good. D Hop pretty fucking good as well.
Yeah, obviously the Bengals receivers are better, but I don't think it's a crazy. I don't think it's a crazy difference.
That's not an obviously, because I don't know if there's a better contested catch wide receiver.
Well, for Will Levis too.
I mean, D Hop is perfect, and if Calvin Ridley can get back to what he was pre, dabbling in the little same game parlay, we got something here. He was a former first round pick. I mean,
look at this game against the Jaguars. They're gonna play the Jaguars twice. You don't think Callahan knows how to get after him? Browning was 32 of 37, 354 yards, only had 1 touchdown. He did have a rushing touchdown. He had 2 carries for 22 yards.
One difference between the Bengals.
Jamar Chase did have an insane game that one.
Yeah, but I'm not worried. They have their own Jamar Chase. The one key difference to me between the Bengals and the Titans is the Titans project to have a worse defense. So from an offensive standpoint,
great example, Ryan, because in a game the Bengals got blown out 34-11 by the Steelers. Guess how many passing yards Jake Browning threw for?
400.
335.
Played the game wrong.
28 out of 42. And he threw 3 picks, which you might get some of those games with Will Levis, and he only had 1 touchdown. Like I think Jake Browning kind of ran cold in some touchdown stuff. And that was a game. Yeah, that was a game without Jamar Chase. So, I mean, T Higgins did go off. So, but I think between Hopkins and Ridley, they should be pretty good. Our underdog plays for the season long stuff. And again, I just got this bet in. I paired it with lower Daniel Jones passing touchdown. Spoiler alert. I'm also obviously I like the Will Levis passing yards, but we've talked about that enough. Chigozimo Okonkwo, higher 2.5 touchdowns.
Dangerous.
It's only 2.5, man.
It's too dangerous.
Chig had 4 his rookie year. Hashtag free Chig.
I like Chig. I hope he has a good season, but I kind of need to see.
He could be odd man out, but it's only 3 touchdowns.
I kind of need to see it. Have you been listening to what DeAndre Hopkins has been saying this offseason? Just about how angry he is at the world and how he loves this Tennessee team and wants to show out. I don't know if I want to mess with his yards, but I have, and I do believe this Calvin Ridley is going to be all over the place, getting worked into the office. But I do. D Hop's going to score over higher than 4.5 touchdowns. Period. I think I fully expect he had 7 last year. I fully expect there to be a 2 or 3 deep ones, and then he's going to be a red zone target. So we're just going to keep this simple. As much as I like Ridley this year, his is 5.5 and 875.5. By the way, I'm taking D Hop higher 4.5 touchdowns. Simple systems.
Yeah, obviously I'm in on D Hop, and I guess also too, like I think the running backs could get involved. Obviously I like Chig, the receivers, maybe even we see some Treylon Burks stuff. Like,
should we sprinkle the Super Bowl just in case?
No.
Okay. I have more. I have one more.
Okay. What else you got?
I do like the idea of a what if the Colts and Titans finish 1-2. You can exact a box it, Sean, for 11-1.
Yeah. No, thanks.
No,
I don't. To me, it's not juicy enough.
You're just getting the Titans in the second hole, basically. Yeah,
but then I think the AFC South is a complete crapshoot. I do like the division at 9-1, but if in the world where the Titans win, who knows who's going to be second, or vice versa. If the Titans get the second, I don't have a locked in play to who would be one there. At the price, I don't like it.
They're not offering exact results. Oh wait, here we go. How about this? Titans, Colts, Texans, Jags, 45-1.
Yeah. I'd just rather put more money on Will Levis passing yards. That to me, I can see it in my mind, him just throwing a shit ton of balls. And I think they're going to be successful, but if they're not, he can still rack up a ton of passing yards. Like there's multiple scenarios where he leads the league in passing yards.
All right. I have another one for you. Will Levis to lead the AFC South in passing.
Okay. Now this is ridiculous. It's probably plus odds.
9-1.
Whoa, my God.
Put me down. This one's going in the digital wallet.
All right. That is fucking crazy. Are you kidding me?
CJ Stroud -250, Trevor Lawrence +350.
I mean,
that is legitimately a bad price.
Stroud is
Sean. Joe Flacco's 50-1 in there. They got Mason Rudolph at 100-1.
I mean the Flacco sprinkle. I mean, for a guy who.
Oh no, Sean, I lied. Touchdowns is 9-1. Yards is 13-1.
What?
Joe Flacco is 75-1. That same market.
This is it's criminal.
Mac Jones is 150-1. I love that Mac Jones is in the AFC South now.
Oh, that's so great.
These passing props over at DK, they are offering not just the starters. Every backup is listed in the most pass yards and pass touchdowns market.
What about the rushing leaders? Anything interesting there? I wouldn't look to play it for the Titans, but I'm intrigued as to.
All right. So for the AFC
ETN
South,
would be the favorite.
Taylor -135, Mixon +280, ETN +350, Pollard 8-1, Spears 25-1.
Yeah, I don't know. There's. Now the Tajay stuff, there's too much competition. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's a fucking beast.
What about receivers? Would you want to play a division receiver market?
I don't know. I don't think so.
We love Pittman a lot, but Ridley is 7-1. D Hop is 6-1. Interesting that Ridley's behind him.
Yeah,
that doesn't match the props. Chig 75-1. If you're wondering.
I love Chig, but I would not play that.